Yo, dude, I I'm still laughing at listening to the pod Joe Budden today.
I didn't get through it all. I got through some
Can I
of
play
it.
a part for you?
You can play all the parts because I got my phone blown up at 10:30 this morning. People freaking out about it, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And then I guess at that point, whatever went down, and then yeah. So you can.
I gotta play a part for you. I got to, because I was just like, so. What's up, everybody? First of all, thank you for tuning into Geektastic Cypher. As you know, we're a podcast ourselves.
Right.
I personally never thought of Joe Budden as a mentor, but I've spoken to some people that have said that his style of podcast is what inspired them to do what they're doing. He talks about that regularly, that he feels like he's inspired people and that he's led a charge in some ways, and that's fine. I respect that there's a whole movement of people out there that like what he's been doing and are on that wavelength. But then so I'm gonna play the sign off from the show today, and this is how he ended the show. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Never asked for this drop. I never asked for this drop in here, Rory. You piece of shit. I never asked you to show up when my son was born either. I never asked for nothing. It's Parks' house. It's Parks' engineering. It's Parks' kindness and grace, you fucking piece of shit.
Joe Budden is yo, Joe Budden is crazy. He's crazy.
The man is, yeah, that's insane. I don't even.
You've been doing a show with someone since 2015.
Yeah.
And you and the person have a falling out. That's fine. But for you to go on and at the end of a show say, I never asked for you. I never asked for this. I never asked you to show up for when my son was born. You fucking piece of shit.
You don't come back from that.
Nope. And the best part is right before he played that and right before he said it, he says, you guys need to get your minds right. And then, maybe we could, like, he kind of tries to smooth it out a little bit with the idea that, maybe we could fix this.
Yeah, but how could they fix that after that? And like, can we right away say that nobody asked for that ice drop? What was that? That weird ice drop at the beginning? I don't know. I don't want to ever hear that again. I'm sorry.
That is crazy, dude.
But like,
it is crazy to me.
That is like, yeah, like you said, there's no coming back from that.
No,
it'd be like one of us doing that to the other person. I just don't see how you don't let, as Rory or Mal, right? How you don't let your ego stop you from even just reassociating yourself with this guy, because you coming back from this makes you look weak. And you know how it is, right? That's, I don't know what's on the bedrock of their friendship, but like this to me is unacceptable, man.
Yeah, you call me a piece of
shit. It was funny.
It
was funny before. It was funny when the whole thing went down. It wasn't really funny then. But this is bridge burning 101.
Yeah,
like, legit.
Dude, crazy. I was listening to the whole pod, and I the beginning of it was already like, I was kind of in shock at how intense it was, because immediately off the top, he's kind of like, yo, they're not here. And you're just like, okay. And then Joe goes into his usual kind of antics of just acting like things are normal, but you can tell he has something on his mind, so he's about to pop off, and you're just like, okay, Joe, get in your bag. Do you? Okay, let's see if this is going to go anywhere interesting. And then he just starts going on rant after rant after rant. 2 hours and 40 minutes of every time they change the subject, he goes back to it and starts shitting on them again. Continues.
So they were on air for this.
No, Rory and Mal were not there. He's by himself with Parks and I guess the Ian, his manager.
Oh, right. Okay.
He said like half the crew was there or whatever.
Yeah.
But not Rory and Mal. They weren't there for this in person. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. But yeah.
Oh no, if you're saying that to their faces, like
you think for a second Joe would have gotten off saying something like that in front of Mal? Mal would have decked him, and he knows that. That's why he did it. Because the whole thing about the last episode was Mal saying, "To me, it's about respect. As long as there's respect, it's okay." And then Joe went and did this, and that there's obviously not
the most disrespectful shit I ever heard in my life.
Yep,
that's crazy.
You know that's disrespectful. So
wow. I mean,
wow. I mean, Grizz, you're not wrong. This is funny shit.
Grizz loves chaos though. Grizz,
yeah. You're a big freak.
Every time we're going at each other's throats, he feels like the puppet master. You know,
right?
In the background.
So my question to you guys now. Joe Budden does this whole public, pissing on his whole crew publicly. Tells Rory, has a whole section where he says to Rory, "You are fired. You are in breach of contract, and you are fired." Says it outright. Doesn't say anything about Mal for most of the show. Then later on,
shoot him.
Yeah, but then later on, it says you too are fired because he knows that's the closest he could get to talking out the side of his mouth to Mal. That's the closest he could get.
Okay, by doing that one move, you know what he just did? Buy Jay-Z, buy any kind of recognition to Hova,
I've been telling people, everyone who
buy Diddy, buy Khaled, buy a lot of people. Yeah, like you're fired yourself.
I was explaining to one of my friends today and to somebody else actually from work. I was explaining that Mal
brother.
Exactly. I explained that Mal and Joe have been tight forever, and the fact that Joe is taking this thing so personally with Mal, even though Mal said it's all about respect, is going to cause way more ripples than I think Joe is aware or is ready to deal with.
If I can, that's legit like us being a concert podcast.
Yeah.
And one of y'all being related to either Donald K. Donald or the Molsons. Yeah. And me saying nuts to you.
Yeah.
While also trying to continue said podcast about concerts. What do you do?
I mean, we'll see just how much it affects Joe Budden's career at this point. I feel like honestly, not listening back, but thinking back to his career from the beginning, this is par for the course for him. Yeah, he's had so many of these moments where he implodes or explodes and then has to come back from that brink in some way, shape, or form. So honestly, he's the marathon man at this point, in my opinion. Like, this is it. He's just laughing himself.
Is this a marathon you want to be running?
How much? I mean, he loves it. He clearly loves the drama.
So solid for so long. It's like you didn't have to like this. Like I can't even like
420 episodes.
Yeah, I've accepted the most horrid shit, and like I can kind of go back on some of the dumb things Kanye's done, but this is ridiculous. Like I may not go back, and I'm a day one listener, and I don't think I don't want to hear.
I'm not planning to go back. Yeah,
right.
I'm not planning to go back because. So here's my thought on this. I'm going to ask this to you guys. I'm Joe Budden, and I own this, and I just started this network. And now, sorry, no, I'm not Joe Budden. I'm one of the other shows on the Joe Budden network. Right? I just witnessed Joe Budden go on his podcast, and because of a disagreement, publicly fire the people on his show, call them pieces of shit. And you know, I didn't want you I didn't tell you to come when my son was born, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with anything. I don't know what that has to do with the podcast.
He
but
just went on a rant from what I could understand.
Well, I think if anything, he's trying to make the point that you are not my friend. We were never friends. You were a business acquaintance. I think that's very much the point he's trying to make.
That's a lie, but anyways.
Yeah, but the point is, if you say something like that to somebody, you're that is burning a bridge, and that's burning a bridge. Like,
can I ask? Can I add something?
Sure.
It is the Joe Budden podcast, right? So if I'm going to work, it is.
No.
So you still respect.
This seems to me like Rory and Mal. There's still what? Sorry, respect.
Well, there's still respect. So what if
100%, and that's a character flaw that I think it'll be hard for him to wash out because he's always been this way.
And there's also the fact that you always had support. Like, you're spitting on what was your support system. Like, you didn't do 420 episodes on your own.
Kind of started, almost on not all of them, but
I mean, I don't know. I'm saying it based off of what you guys. I've learned more from you guys.
Rory came in at 17. Maul came in at 77. Before that, there was Marissa, but she was fired before the first.
Yeah, but if you're hired within the first 100 episodes,
yeah.
Okay, but not even just that. When did the podcast pop off? The podcast
views review.
Exactly.
Can I add, guys? This is what I'm talking about. Like, I get the whole thing. I like.
Maul wasn't.
No, that's not.
And I don't really feel the need to play devil's advocate, but they should have worked this out at the beginning. If this really was a startup, right? They should have worked out the percentages and the shares.
I'm with Toby because where they fucked up,
they only asked for a salary, probably.
Not only that, but the minute you go public,
hold on, because you guys, the episode literally talks about the fact that they're paid.
No.
And that their question to Joe was like, what are the books to this? So it sounds like Joe was saying, you guys don't need to see the books. This is mine. You don't own any of this. Right. And they were asking questions about the books. So fine, if you want to have that discussion with them. Have that discussion with them on the side. Have that discussion with them through their lawyers. Have that discussion with them through the contract. Mm-hmm. But why don't have that discussion with them on the podcast, calling them fucking pieces of shit and firing them publicly? And that's why my question. So that's why I still have the question. I'm one of the other shows on the Joe Budden Network, not that particular podcast, but on the Joe Budden Network. He has 2 other shows right now?
I don't know. But is he part of any of those 2 other shows?
No. These are shows on his network.
Cool. Okay, continue.
So he has 2 shows, maybe 3, I'm not sure, on his network. Mm-hmm. If I'm one of those shows and I see the head of my podcast network, when he's upset, go on his show and fire people by calling them fucking pieces of shit and firing them publicly on the podcast, do I feel comfortable working on this person's network if this is how they react when they're upset?
I take that as a lesson for how I approach them in the future, using Rory and Mal as an example of where not to go. Mm-hmm. If it is my own show on his network, I'm sure we've worked out our contracts and how that scale is going to go and stuff like that. But I do have it in the back of my mind that he could screw me over at any point. But if I'm using it to build my rep, I don't necessarily leave just because I saw someone get fired in a dramatic fashion.
And if anything, whenever you do renegotiation of contracts or you start bringing things up,
don't talk to him.
And you make sure that you have shit signed. So that even if he decides to fuck you over, you turn around and be like, either A, you bend a knee, or contract to lawyers. Like,
I mean, for him to be comfortable enough to say you can sue and you'll lose is one of the things I saw that he said.
Yeah.
Then he must have an airtight contract.
Did he say
exactly.
Sue and you lose?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He says UN bombs can audit and UN bombs can sue. You will lose. Ta-da!
Oh, that part. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I just feel like you needed me to say the N-word at this point so you could get it.
No. But he said that. But that's the thing. He said that before firing them publicly on a podcast, which I don't know about you, but in a HR contract, you can't fire someone like that. That's considered an aggressive act. Like, you can't if the president of a company.
It's America, though. Is it the same? Yeah. Is it the same here as it is there?
Yes, but you can't fire someone by like, if I'm the boss of a company, I can't walk into a room, yell at those people publicly, and start calling them names and tell them to get the fuck out.
He'd probably already done it beforehand.
Yeah, I was about to say he probably called them, was like, "Yes, I'm about to start the podcast. Fuck you 1, fuck you 2, and let's go." Like,
I mean,
it's for sure. It sounds like he came to the podcast with intent. He probably already saw it through before he went on that tirade.
I hope. Yeah,
I would hope. Obviously,
because I don't think it's as simple as you could just come out here and start.
No, for sure not.
Man, how are you gonna tell this man? I didn't tell you. I didn't want you when my son was like, dude. Like, They've talked about that on the show.
Yeah, no.
They've talked about the fact that their relationship, I don't know. So, I mean, Joe kept saying throughout the last, and I'll admit it, Joe has mentioned.
This is crazy to me. Sorry, I'm like, I was about to burst out laughing.
I know.
But
That's what I started the pod by laughing because it is crazy. This man went on his show, did 2 hours and 40 minutes of insulting and calling them names. Every time Parks tried to change the subject, Parks would be like, "Yo, the new J. Cole," and they'd be like, "Yeah, J. Cole, J. Cole, J. Cole." Yo, you know what really pisses me off? And then he'd go back into another 20-minute rant, and then
not to mention he ended up deleting the episode.
Right?
Oh, he did.
You had to know.
Yeah.
He took the episode down and put it behind the paywall after.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah. That's crazy. That's
He-
crazy. That's either really evil or super genius.
Oh, that's genius.
He used
I
his
will
episode for
credit.
therapy, man.
I will give him credit. You have an episode that you know is going to pop off. So you pull the episode after it's already been leaked. People are already talking about it. You put it behind the paywall and tell everybody you got to sign up for the Patreon to hear this whole episode now that everyone's talking about.
For all the regulars who can't get it and don't know the ways of Reddit.
Yeah. Yo, man, I'm sorry. I'm not, Joe, I'm telling you right now,
bro. I'm not paying you.
I was not paying you to listen to that. If I had paid and got a 2 hour and 40-minute episode of that, I would have been vexed. I'm not sitting there to listen to you just go crazy for 2 hours shitting on people that you
but this is the internet today though. This is social media. People are gonna eat this up.
Oh yeah, this is
oof.
This is gonna be great because I mean, so I've had a few people ask me like, do you think Maul and Rory will start another podcast? No, they're not going to.